Alright, and welcome to another Shades of Dominion lore video. This video is going to be on the topic of character creation. However, what we're going to go over today is not in the current rulebook. The information you're going to get today is actually a bit of a cheat sheet, or the dirty little secret of the game. And what I'm going to go through today is going to be essentially the foreword of the character creation portion of the core rulebook. Because when you go through the character creation section of the rulebook, what it basically shows you is how to fill out the character sheet, not necessarily how you should go about creating the character itself. Because how I designed the game to be is, you have a basic character concept. You have a concept or a deck that you've played with before that you want to emulate in the roleplay game. And, well, the approach I want players to take when making their Shade Mage, making their character, is I want you to cheat. Now, when I say cheat, I don't mean break the rules as written in the book. What I mean is, I want you to min-max and mix and create a character that is obviously, in terms of gameplay, a bit overpowered. And intentionally so. I want players to be free to look at the rulebook and look at the options presented. And trust me, there are many options. There are many ways in which someone could go about playing this game and create the most obscene combinations, the most absolutely what you might normally in any other game consider to be broken. I want players to make combinations and take attributes and aspects and spells in such a way that they think, my god, this is overpowered. Why would any Shade Master or Game Master permit this? I want them to look at the game and think, wow, this is something where I am the best at X or Y. Or X and Y. It doesn't matter. And the reason for that, and to do this, you're going to be bouncing back and forth between looking at spells, looking at aspects for certain attributes, and you're going to be able to create the most insane things. So when you go through character creation in the book, in the core rulebook, all it's basically telling you is how to go through the character sheet, because that's all it can reasonably show you. But in terms of the actual steps you take to make a character, I would actually suggest looking at the aspects first and the spells that generally describe what you want your character to do, and work backwards from there. Now, I'm not telling you anything new if you've played a role-playing game before. In fact, if you are a veteran role-play player at a gaming table, this is something that you've probably already done before, and you know it's kind of metagaming. It's called munchkinning, where you put all of your points in one thing and you're super good at one thing. The Shades of Dominion game anticipates that, and it is designed for it. That's what you're supposed to do in this game. You're supposed to, quote-unquote, stack the deck. Because, once again, the Shades of Dominion is a game that is loosely based off of Magic the Gathering in an alternate universe, in a way that is far more fun and far more intriguing. So when it comes to character creation, the role of you as a player is to, unironically, attempt to break the system. That's your job. It is your duty to try and break the game in terms of mechanics, in terms of output. And just to give you some examples, there are combinations where you can make a fire mage who has additional damage and fire attacks, who has a ranged weapon that deals extra damage per hit because of an enchantment, and has aspects where for every low-cost spell that deals damage, you get another another free roll. You automatically recharge your spells, causing basically infinite casting of low cost damaging spells. And there's another combination that you can use to beef up your Shade Mage based on the amount of shade that they possess, and another aspect where you can attack an insane amount of times on your first hit. Now, mind you, you're upping your strength and you're upping the number of attacks you get. These combinations in the game are not only possible, they are intentional and encouraged. And that's a point I want to make clear when it comes to character creation for the Shades of Dominion. And that's part of the fun. That's part of the ideal, is having this nearly godlike character, because in the old Magic the Gathering lore, a planeswalker was a god. That is the power level we are talking about. And you are creating a Shade Mage, which, in terms of your relationship with regular quote-unquote mortals, you are at the power level of a god. You can take out entire regiments with your spells, not a problem. You can take on individual beings with the snap of your fingers. That is the intentional power level of the game. So when it comes to character creation, when I say the open secret in Shades of Dominion is to cheat, is to try and break the system, to create something that is so wacky, that is so overpowered, that you're thinking to yourself that in other traditional games, this would not be allowed. And I'm telling you to go ahead and do it anyway. Because the story format of the game not only takes this into account, it's able to work around it. Your Shade Master, your Game Master, is not going to have a problem with you mowing through mobs, essentially. Like, there's no expectation that when you create a character, and I mean like level 1, like basic starting out character, being able to almost indefinitely just conquer the world. Like, that is literally the power level you start at. And so when it comes to character creation, my advice is to really think outside the box and try to be as devious, as mischievous, and as overpowered as you possibly can. That's what the system is made for. And that's what makes it so much fun, is because you're going to learn playing the Shades of Dominion that your power level is... Your primary enemy here is not the world around you. It's how you interact with that world and what limitations the Shade has on you. That's how the Shades of Dominion is built around, this concept of this almost Faustian contract between you and the Shade. So that is what I wanted to say about character creation, is know what you want and get after it with no apologies. Understand how the mechanics work and whatnot. And that's basically it. Like, and when you're done making your character, and you have, and this will happen, and you have a few points left over for in spells and whatnot, go and look at how to enchant items and how to there are two things you can do with items. You can enchant them and you can imprint them. Enchanting items takes an item that's in your inventory and gives it an aspect. And when I say aspect, I mean something that it's almost like the Magic the Gathering keywords. Things like flying, things like trample, things like first strike. You can give those things to your items at the start of the game very cheaply and very easily. So you can start the game with an item and pay a library point and you have one item that permanently gives you any of these advantages or any of these aspects permanently. Like, as long as that item is on your person, that is the role of that item. And then, if you want, you can, I think you just sacrifice one of your vessel levels, and you're able to enchant that, imprint that item into a spell. So you now have a spell that, even if that item is destroyed, automatically recreates that item for you. The Shades of Dominion, in terms of power level, is made so that players can be that and have that kind of godlike power. And it's really, really fun if you get into the nearly endless possibilities for your character, for your Shade Mage, and you're just able to interact in the realms with near impunity, depending on the story and the environment that the Shade Master has you playing in. And it's super, super fun to not only make the character, but play as them. And trust me, you can spend hours and go through many concepts, many character concepts in how you want to approach playing the Shades of Dominion. Almost inadvertently, like, one of the combinations in the white and blue colors is an unironic, like, time mage. Now, the rules don't explicitly say you can manipulate time, but if you look at the effects of these combinations, creating a time mage is well within the possibilities of what this game has to offer. So, character creation. Break the system, or at least try to break the system as much as you can. That's part of the fun of this game. That's it, guys. Just a brief little ditty on character creation that I need to put as a forward in the character creation part of the core rulebook, because it's difficult to explain how to approach character creation when it's slightly different than the mechanics of filling out the character sheet. So, that's all, guys, and I hope you guys are ready to throw some shade. Bye-bye.